Welcome to the Life After Life podcast, where we explore our soul's physical and non-physical journey. I'm Majona. Let's discuss angels, guides, and loved ones from the other side. Hello, everybody! You know, in my mind, I just can see you all because I'm a very visual person and I'm a people person, and I wish I could just meet all of you because you have no idea how much I appreciate you and the wonderful emails and all the support I get. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I so appreciate it. So Kathy emailed this one. Shout out to Kathy. She said, you know what? There are some people that I just don't like. And I don't like to be around them, even though I've really, really tried to. She asked some really great questions like, can our angels talk? Can my angels talk to their angels to help me gain some insights and make this easier to deal with them? She asked, do our angels and guides get frustrated with us? And I love this visual that she put in there. She said she kind of sees our angels and guides as parents, how we love our children unconditionally, but we still get frustrated with them sometimes and kind of maybe shake our heads and a little frustration. And then she said, can we communicate with somebody else's angels to find out how to talk with them or how to serve them, how to make this all go away or make it much easier? These are great questions. And Kathy, you said something else that I absolutely love and I think is so important when we're dealing, especially when we're dealing with people that, just aren't quite our cup of tea. And that is that we pray and set an intention that we do nothing that harms them. Wow, sometimes that's hard, right? Especially if we're really angry or frustrated or they've hurt us, it's easy to want to strike back. So, Kathy, I love that you said you've already done that. You've said that prayer and set that intention. All right, so, what about all of this? I got this visual too. I got to say, and it made me laugh. The thought of angels and guides standing there just kind of shaking their heads when we do something that's less than wonderful. And, here's the deal. Angels are timeless. They have literally been around since the beginning of time. And I think of us as their charges. Okay, so we're temporary in this form, but they're timeless. So they've had so many charges over time that there is absolutely nothing that we can say, do, think, or feel that is going to surprise them. They have seen it all. That doesn't mean they like it all. But also keep in mind that angels are pure love. Now, there are different kinds of angels, right? There are warrior angels that are very protective of us, and they literally fight on our behalf, but they're still coming from the place of love when they do that. There's your guardian angel that is with you to make sure that you are safe and protected, kind of going in the right way. They're just always watching out for you. They're the ones that are most likely to communicate with you when you're working on that, coming from complete love. So even no matter what their job is, and then of course there's the archangels that just kind of, so if we need a hierarchy that's like there's the archangels and they have other angels beneath them, their upper management, and they sort of have their areas of expertise and can certainly be in more than one place and work with more than one person at one time. So, like I said, we can't surprise them. They've seen it all, and they're coming from a place of love. The advantage that they have over us is they understand this whole soul development and the whole soul journey way better than we do. Way better than I can even share with you because they've got way more information than I do. So while we're frustrated with something, they can see that that is actually in our highest and best good. Getting frustrated helps us learn. I know it's not the fun way to learn, but it can be a very valuable lesson, and we learn it well when we have to struggle through it. They can also see, and they have seen throughout time, that there are so many paths to get to the same conclusion. And I'm guessing that they've probably experienced every single one of those paths at some point or another. And I don't know, maybe they can see all of the paths concurrently. And it's completely up to us as to which one of those paths that we want to take. It hasn't really been my experience that angels get frustrated with us in the term that we would think of frustrated. The closest that I can come to make this, to give you an example, and I gotta say, sometimes I'm very headstrong and determined, which makes me have to learn the same lesson over and over more times than necessary, and I'm Capricorn, and that's what we do. All right, when I first, years and years ago, got an angel card deck, and I was working with that, absolutely blown away at how interactive the angels can be in an angel card deck. And it's like so many other tools, it's a tool to help you confirm what your intuition is telling you or what you're hearing from your guides and angels. Well, when there were situations that I really wanted definite answers on, and by golly, I was going to keep on it until I got it, kind of like, a little kid hounding a parent until they get the answer that they want. And so I might continue to ask the same question over and over because I really wasn't getting the clarity that I wanted to get. And it took me a long time to really focus on my energy during that period of time because I could feel the stress building. And it's like, let me try this again because I am clearly not being very clear here because I am not getting the answers that I want to get on the questions that I need answers to. So there's clearly a communication problem here. Well, yeah, the communication problem was all with me because I was too busy trying to demand what I wanted instead of receiving what I was getting. Again, did I mention I'm Capricorn? Well, so what happened then with my deck of cards that I finally just had to throw in the towel and start laughing was there were 3 cards that really weren't pertinent to me at that time. One of them meaning it was something about a deceased loved one is fine and sending love or something like that. And I'm like, okay, I don't need a card to tell me that because, hello, I'm a medium. All right, and then the other one was your pets or animals are well cared for or something like that. And I had no pets or animals at that time, so clearly that card meant nothing to me. And you know what? There's another one that I just can't even remember what it is right now. But what would happen is if I wasn't getting the answers I wanted and my stress would start increasing, and you know how you just start thinking, oh, I'm going to win this and I'm going to persevere, that energy was coming up. What would happen is I'd lay the cards out again and one of those cards would show up. I'm like, okay, why are you showing me that card? I don't even have a pet. Why are you telling me this? So pick them up, shuffle the deck, put them out again, and maybe 2 of those cards would show up. And then the 3rd card would show up all at the same time. And I finally would just have to stop. And okay, so I admit it took me a little bit of time. But then what I finally got was I would start listening. And what the angels were telling me was a couple things. 1, stop it. Just listen. Stop counting on exterior tools because you can hear. Just listen. Go within. Okay, all right. But it's so much easier to use other tools because then I am a little more sure that I'm right and I don't have to work so hard. Lazy. All right. And then the other thing was, it was sort of a reprimand, as close as the angels get to a reprimand, because it's like, stop. We've been telling you and you're not listening. So we're just going to not be helpful here, right? We're going to give you the cards that mean nothing to you. So those were sort of a reset for me. Like, okay, stop and check yourself. So that's the closest that I've come to. And once I realized what was happening, I got to say, it made me laugh because then I did feel like a child sort of throwing a temper tantrum. That's the closest I have found to angels being frustrated, but there was humor involved. That is really the experience that I've had, is they don't really get frustrated. I've never seen them get angry. They're just incredibly patient. They will redirect you as often as they need to, repeatedly, and it's all based in love, and they get it. They understand where you are on your path. They understand your whole soul better than you do, and why you're here and what this personality is. So I don't think that they get really frustrated with us as we think of frustration. Okay, so Kathy asked, can our angels, or can my angel talk to somebody else's angel to give me insight and make this easier for me to get along with somebody? I love that. And that kind of makes me laugh again for the same reasons. As humans, I think we're always trying to look for shortcuts. We want to find the fastest, easiest way to get through pain. And sometimes it's through the pain and that struggle and persevering and coming out the other side is the way we learn our lessons and gain insights. And that insight might be just patience, learning patience. It might be empathy or learning to accept others for who they are and loving them, even though they're very different than us. There's an infinite number of possibilities included in all of this. So I don't think your angels have to talk to somebody else's angels to get it, because it's just kind of, they already get it. And kind of the same goes for, can we talk to somebody else's angels to get insights on how to make this work out? All right, so this is what I think does work. If you're having an issue with somebody, and y'all, I get it. I mean, there are just people that you just don't resonate with. There are people in my family that I just don't resonate with. So you do have to decide what level of involvement you can have with them. And sometimes your lesson is about setting boundaries and protecting yourself, your energetic self, as well as your physical, emotional, mental self. So there's no cookie cutter. You really do have to look at this. Now, sometimes it is a situation where we can avoid somebody or sort of walk away from a situation, and sometimes we can't. Sometimes it's just a situation that you're going to have to deal with. So in the fashion of the angels, my advice is always come from first a place of love and compassion. When you step outside of yourself and you try to see the situation from their perspective, that puts a whole new light on it, and it gives you a level of empathy and acceptance that I just don't think you can get any other way. Now, it would be great if they would do you the same favor, and they may not. In the Course of Miracles, there's a phrase in there that I love, and it's every action comes from either love or fear. So a lot of the negative emotions and actions that are expressed by us and to us are actually because underneath all of that, there's fear. So if you can think about that, this person is being really rude to me consistently for doing whatever their actions may be, because something is really frightening them. They're insecure. They're afraid of losing something. They're afraid of not having control or power over their own lives. They're afraid that I might be judging them. Whatever. Again, there's an infinite number of reasons. But if you frame it that way, that negative behavior is coming from fear, again, that helps understand, and it can take some of that charge out of it. All right, so what I have found is this is stuff you got to work out. The angels aren't going to do that for you, because would be actually counter to helping you. However, your higher self and that person's higher self can work together. So if you, like when you're going to bed, kind of set the intention as you're going to sleep, you're in that alpha state, like the best, where your subconscious mind is coming up and your conscious mind is starting to drift off. Set an intention and ask right then your higher self to talk to that person's higher self, and allow the two of you to meet on the astral plane in a safe, protected place of love to try to work through some of this. It's amazing what can happen there. Now, both parties have to be willing to do that. But when you're working with your higher selves, it takes the ego self out. And I have had really a lot of success doing that. Most likely, neither one of you will remember that meeting, per se, on a different plane. What you will notice is the difference and how that issue, whatever it was that seemed to be so big, all of a sudden just really isn't so big. And even without talking about it, it can just go away. And there's a shift in kindness and understanding and the way you relate to each other. It can be very, very powerful. The other thing is that can be very powerful is just setting the intention to move through this with ease and grace, and actually visualizing a beam of light, of love, going from you, from your heart, to that person's heart. Just send them love, unconditional love. And it's amazing because, right, the opposite of fear is love. And if they're coming from a place of fear and that's causing conflict, and you can help shift that and increase the love, well, then you'll get the opposite effect, right, or the opposite result. Okay, so your angels and guides can help in another way. You can ask them to help in this situation. Something like, in this situation with whomever, please help me learn the lessons that are in this for my highest and best good. Please help me learn these lessons as quickly and with as much ease and grace as possible. Let me learn these lessons without pain and anguish. Right? They can step in and help with that kind of stuff. And the way you're going to know they're helping is by, of course, listening to your heart, because they speak to you through your heart. If you don't have a conscious connection with your angels and guides and like hear them otherwise, always tune into your heart and just honor kind of those promptings. Your intuitive prompt will lead you to your right course of action. So they can step in and help you that way. So there are many ways that angels and guides can help, but they kind of have a rule book they have to follow too. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy, for that really great email and those detailed questions. Y'all, I can't even say how much I love this because it shows me, one, where you are, and that does help me with podcasts, and it shows me the depth and complexity of where you are on your soul's journey, and I so love that because we're not just at the surface. We're showing that we are really increasing the consciousness, and we're asking the hard questions and willing to do the work. That is so exciting. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your journey. If you have questions or comments or ideas for podcasts, I so love to hear them. My email address is majona@lifeafterliferadio.com, and the website is just lifeafterlife.com. I would love to hear from you. So keep it coming. I appreciate you. I love you. I'm sending love to all of you. And until next time, namaste.